right, let's go. Same place, same time. The smiling faces that you know and love. Smack Talk is back, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock in the East, every single Wednesday. We are now counting it down. 9 days away from Power Slap gracing us once again with Power Slap number 19 coming from the Chelsea in the Cosmopolitan in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Last week when we talked, we had the live fights, and now we've got 7 additional tape fights that we're going to get into, and we're going to break down each individual match for you guys here tonight. And we got coin toss winners. Is it going to change where we think these matches are going to go based off who is striking first? You're going to have to tune in later in the show to find out. We're going to have the heavyweight champ, Damien The Bell, joining us on the show, as well as Juicy Finau going to be joining us. He's had some choice words to say over the past week as it relates to this super heavyweight match on this card. Obviously, his hometown, where he's living and residing right now, in Las Vegas, Nevada, WrestleMania weekend. He's not on the card. I mean, big head shocker to all of us. And Ding's asked a lot of questions of why he wasn't there. And we're going to find out, his side of the story and what kind of happened there and what holds for him in the future. But overall, a lot to get into in a break into this show over the next hour or so. We appreciate everybody who tunes in, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, whether you're watching live. Drop us a comment in the comments section. We'll get to your questions as well. Or you're watching the playback. We appreciate you. Also, Ding, I know you're on special ops for us this week, but the world of Power Slap doesn't stop for anybody, and the news keeps on coming, and it's a pretty exciting time.
Yeah, man. You know what? I think a great point that's been made this week is if you didn't believe in the coin tosses after seeing these results, you better believe in them now. You got everybody thought Jake Hager would automatically be a coin toss winner. We find out he's not. People thought Austin Turbo win the coin toss. He didn't win the coin toss either. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Who was the third one that was a surprise? Of course, the champions get the coin toss privilege. I can't remember who the last one was that everybody was like, "Oh, this is interesting. Nobody expected that to go that way." Let me see if I can pull a rabbit out of a hat here. So what is it?
John Davis, Stunt Marshall?
There it is, John Davis, Stunt Marshall. Stunt Marshall loses the coin toss for the very first time, and he will, in fact, be struck live and free on YouTube for the world to see. The question about the chin will be answered. He's kind of the last holdout, man. I don't think there's anybody out there that still has this, Casper the Ghost question chasing him around, the big asterisk, if you will. So we'll find out April 17th, live and free on YouTube, relatively early in the evening, if Stunt Marshall can, in fact, take a shot from a former champion, his second that he's going to be going up against, which I think is probably one of the most impressive resumes in such a short period of time that we'll have seen. But however, he has a big test in front of him, a guy who's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's been out for over a year. We'll chat more about that fight later on, but I thought that was probably the biggest news coming out of the coin tosses. Stunt Marshall will finally take his first shot, and will that first shot be a shot that he can take, or will that first shot be something that will end this evening very early and put to rest the one-hit wonder streak, if you will?
Absolutely. Let's bring Juicy in, Ding. I'll let you lead this one, and should I get a couple things here technical-wise, but let's bring him in. Let's get him on the show. Juicy.
There he is.
Dude, that
What's happening, man?
We're great.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good, man. Let me try to... What's up, boy? Oh, you didn't turn on? Come on, let's go. What's up, boys? How y'all doing?
What's up, brother? Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, listen, it's great to see you and hear from you. Of course, always appreciate the time. I was messing with you the other day on live, you and Zeke. Obviously the elephant in the room. Biggest weekend in a pro wrestler's, livelihood, WrestleMania weekend in Sin City for the second year in a row, which is already a bit of an anomaly in itself. And I sat here on this very show last week. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I showed you the clip, and I said, nah, there's no way that this is Power Slap having a booking problem. This has to be a conflict. Juicy's got to be doing something else, and that has to be the explanation because Juicy not being on the card just makes so little sense to me that it just didn't feel like there could be any other reason. We find out from you via a post that you made regarding the dumplings match against Evian Scott. Of course, you saying, and I'm paraphrasing here. Correct me if I misquote you, but Evian, all respect to him, but he's number 8. I'm much closer to the dumpling in ranking. It's WrestleMania weekend. It should really be me versus the dumpling. Not really sure why that didn't happen. So talk to me. What do you know? Did you have conversations? Did anybody reach out to you to find out what's going on for you April 17th?
Man, nobody. Nobody reached out to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm the one reaching out. I'm the one that's trying to get on. Because this is not even just April. I reached out. When I heard about the Saudi Arabia, I heard about those shows last year. I heard about March coming back. I reached out for that one. Nothing. Literally as soon as the last fight happened, at Power Slap 18, I texted. I said, "Hey, bro, I'm available. I'm ready to go. Give me whoever." They got back to me. Oh man, thank you. We'll see what we can do. Bro, they emailed me nothing. Didn't get no call, no contact, no nothing. And then I started hearing people, "Oh man, we signed the contracts. We got this, that, and the third." And then you start to see fights being announced. Because at first the reason I was thinking, I was like, oh, they probably don't want me on there because um, they got Hawaiian Hitman and Makini. It might be too many Polynesians on the show, or there might be too many super heavyweights on the show. That's what I was thinking. Then I see them announce, Scott and Dumpling, and this is nothing against Scott. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is nothing against him, bro. I watched him when he was on, the road to the title. You know what I'm saying? This is more like, I don't know. I feel disrespected because I transitioned from, pro wrestling to Power Slap. I'm doing Power Slap because of pro wrestling. And the fact that we got Power Slap 19, bro, in Vegas the same weekend, Friday night of WrestleMania weekend. And you mean to tell me that they got every other wrestler in the world fighting on this card except me? I'm the only one that didn't get put on. I'm like, bro, make this shit make sense, So I've been frustrated. I've been upset about the shit, but it is what it is, We what 10 days away from Power Slap 19. All I can do now is just complain, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else I can do. This shit's already set in stone, so fuck. Just stand here and fucking be a cheerleader for everybody, Like I said, there's nothing against Scott. I'm happy everybody doing their shit. I'm happy everybody get an opportunity, but I don't know. I think it's some bullshit, man. It smells like some shit. You feel me? So, fuck. But, I'm going to be cheerleader for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Power Slap.
So I made a comment last week on here, and I said, Corey asked me if I thought you would take a wrestling booking over Power Slap, and I said I thought you would, because obviously you're a big name on the pro wrestling scene. You corrected me, and you said no. You would have if you got the Power Slap opportunity, you would have taken it. You would not have done any pro wrestling shows on that evening. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Because here's the thing. You feel me? Power Slap, if they hit me up, the only thing, boy, what the fuck you doing? The only thing, my bad, y'all. My son being bad over here, bro. The only thing I would take over Power Slap is if WWE hit me up and said, hey, can you come do Friday Night SmackDown? Hey, can you come do WrestleMania? Can you come, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'm ever going to do above Power Slap, because why the fuck would I go do something else when Power Slap is right there? If I'm not already signed to a company or doing something, and Power Slap has an opportunity for me to go and do that, I'm doing the Power Slap shit. Unless it's WWE or, whatever the case may be, telling me, hey, we need you to come in, or whatever the case may be, then I'll go do that shit. But ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Power slap. I was trying to slap these motherfuckers, so I let these independent wrestlers know I ain't trying to, don't fuck with me. You feel me? So, but sorry, man.
Nah, you're good.
I'll just be a cheerleader.
What talk to me about Zeke. I didn't realize that you guys were close like that. Talk to me about him.
Yeah, Zeke is one of my students. So he's one of my students in the pro wrestling aspect, and so we got him. He did one of the forget what it was. One of the combines. He did. He came to one of the combines, and then um, he missed weight last time. He missed weight, little fat ass. You know what I'm saying? But he's been working hard. He's been doing his thing, bro. The last couple of days I was back home in the Bay. He was doing his shit. He was looking good. And just knowing that Pono Paladin was taking care of him, you feel me? Like that should make me feel better. You know what I'm saying? Just because he got it. Zeke can do this shit. He hella young too. So I feel like Power Step is a young man's game. So the younger you are when you start this shit, I feel like the better maybe. So, but I think he's gonna do good, man. He got Marty the Moth though, and Marty got that dub on Zicky, in Saudi Arabia, So, just teaching him, how to clinch and what he can and can't do, obviously, and working on his footwork and um, yeah, I'm pretty sure once he gets to, you know, pretty much just tell him, hey man, I can tell you everything right now, but once you step on that stage, bro, it's up to you. You know.
Yeah, obviously the main event of that evening, it's Polynesian versus Polynesian. It's
Yeah.
of course not the two islands that you represent. However, so for
Okay.
you, one, which of those two islands is gonna prevail, and then secondarily, a guy who is from an island you represent, Kalani Vakamelalo, is right there waiting in the wings. I
Bruh.
mean, you guys are
I
kind of
tell you,
close to each other, man. What's that picture looking like?
bro, it's crazy. This shit is all crazy. But I mean, and this is why I'm not really too mad about not being on Power Slap, this one. But you got Hawaiian Hitman. This is his first title defense, bro. His first title defense since winning it from Dumpling. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. No, that's
You know what
correct.
I'm saying? So so then you also got uh Manu who coming off of that dub off of Dumpling, bro. I ain't never seen Dumpling being rocked like that. I've never seen him being stunned like that. And so when McKinney, put the hammer down on him, bro, so to see, Dumpling didn't do much to Hawaiian Hitman. McKinney almost put Dumpling out. So you put them two together, bro. Fireworks, fireworks. I ain't even gonna pick a winner, bro. I'm not even gonna pick a winner, bro. I'm too. What's the
I think
word?
I think you did. I think you did just pick a winner, man. If I'm being honest with you,
Oh, did I?
I think
I
you
don't.
did.
I
I ain't
don't
gonna
know,
say
bro.
that. I ain't gonna blow up your spot, but anybody watching that heard what you just said.
Hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the boys, man. Just representing the Polynesian people out there. So hey, but you see Kalani though when him and what's his name? What's his brother's name? The champion from the other place.
Oh, Casey Stevens, Grizzly.
Yeah, Grizzly, bruh. Yeah, Kalani, bruh. I ain't gonna lie to you, bruh. Because I had watched the interview he did with you, not Kalani, but Grizzly. And then, just hearing him talking about, oh, he don't got a chin and, he just need a couple, shots to get it done. And to see Kalani step up and just fucking, y'all can shit, bruh. It's crazy, bruh. It was crazy. 'Cause I was watching that shit live. I don't know. I was watching it live, going on Instagram live, acting the fool, you know what I'm saying? But it was I'm
Kalani
trying to
has
be in
come a
Vegas
long
acting
way,
the fool,
man.
bro.
Kalani has come a long way for sure. He has he
Yeah,
has he
I
has
can
slowly
see.
but surely become a guy who is a model for recovery, especially at his size, man. To be able to get up from some of the shots he's taken, and he looked flawless against the Grizzlies. So honestly, man, I hate to say, I know we talked about this before, and I know that you're a proponent of it, and he sounds like he is too. But we could have Tonga versus Tonga very, very soon if you guys keep on swirling around each other in the top of that division. Um, Honestly, Polynesian is just super heavyweight and Polynesian is just it's like a match made in heaven. So
Yeah, bro. Nah, but I'm just hyped, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you know, before I want that dumpling one though. And I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Give me dumpling, bro. I really want to run that one, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I feel like he the face of the super heavyweight division. He the face of Power Slap, and he took these back-to-back losses. You know, so I ain't even trying to be a hater, bro, on Scott. Like I said, bro, but I feel like you know they throw Scott up in there just to like kind of pad his shit. You feel me? Like trying to okay, well, let's get him back in the winning column and whatever the case may be. So I kind of hope Scott come over here and fucking upset the world because I feel like the world probably thinking that Dumpy finna sleep in, bro. But Scott come prepared, bro. He gonna be a dangerous man that night.
All right, juicy question for you, man. What do you think? Is it harder for you to miss WrestleMania weekend, or would it be harder to miss competing in Hawaii? Should Power Slap go there anytime soon?
Shit, Hawaii, what the fuck? It'd be hard for me to miss Hawaii, bro. I'm already missing WrestleMania weekend. Fuck, I'll tell you what I'm feeling right now. This shit sucks, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, they go to Hawaii, bro. Let me know, huh, son? Tell them if they go to Hawaii, they should let Daddy know, huh?
Absolutely.
You're like, yeah, whatever, man.
What are you staying busy anyways? Do you have some appearances? Anything? What's going on? You gonna show up in the audience?
Yeah, so
what?
I do have a lot of stuff going on WrestleMania weekend. I have so starting Thursday, you're gonna see me all over Instagram. I'm about to go live for 3 days straight. I'm gonna go live just 3 days straight trying to figure this shit out. You'll see me in my wrestling gear. I'm not changing. I'm gonna be in my wrestling gear for 24 hours a day. So I got some dope stuff. I got wrestling. I got signing at WrestleCon on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then I have a wrestling show at Oasis Pro Wrestling at 11 a.m. on Friday night or Friday. I have Wrestle It party. Y'all come through and party. It's gonna be on Fremont Street. Y'all make sure y'all come through and party on Thursday. You guys doing the tailgate?
We're working on it, my man. We'll let you know in the coming days.
Yeah, I come to the tailgate too. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of shit going on, bro. A lot of shit.
Absolutely. You said earlier, you said Power Slap's, a young person's sport, and we got Jake Hager making his debut at the crisp age of 43. How do you think that's going to go?
Have you ever seen Jake Hager in person?
I have, yeah. Last Power Slap event.
You see the size of his hands? That man got some big ass hands. Now imagine that on your face. And so if he already coming in with the name. He coming in with I think he's undefeated in MMA. He's coming in off of multiple championship runs in pro wrestling. So I feel like who's he fighting again?
Devin Jenkins.
Yeah.
Bro, I feel like Jenkins got a fucking chip on his shoulder because I feel like they probably, he probably think, oh, they think they gonna put me in here with Hager and let him knock me out or whatever the case may be. He has the opportunity to be the ultimate heel and ruin Jake Hager's fucking debut. You know what I'm saying? Because he has the opportunity to do that if he's prepared. But knowing Jake Hager, he's not going down easy. So it's gonna be crazy to see him come out there. I'm excited to see if he comes out to his wrestling theme song or not. But we'll see.
How much do you know about Lance?
Man, that's my brother Lance, bro. That's me and Lance and Jacob Fatu. We used to all be signed to the same company called MLW, and so me and Lance traveled the country with Jacob. Winning the MLW championships or tag team champions. And I'm close to Damu or to Lance, man. Really close with that family as well. So I'm excited with Lance. Me and him has been in contact, ever since he started. He did the tryout, or not the tryout,
The combine.
combine. So yeah, he messaged me ahead of the combine. So we talked a little bit. Then we just recently talked maybe a couple of days ago about his mouthpiece and stuff. And so it's just I'm excited for him.
Awesome, Juicy. Well, I appreciate you joining
There's
us.
to be a way for him to. Oh my bad. What'd you say?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you joining, man. Sorry, dude. We got to roll. We got the champ waiting for us right now. So how to yeah, the champ.
What's up, champ?
You want to say hi to the champ?
Thank y'all, boys, man.
You want to say hi to the champ for a second?
Come on.
Yeah, here we go. We'll bring him in.
Come on.
It's Juicy.
Oh shit!
Champion.
What's going on, man?
Champion.
I was just watching
Man, what's up,
on
legend?
me.
Hey, bro, good to finally meet you, brother.
Hey, man, it's nice to meet you too. Always nice to let sport, man. Oh,
Hey, man, y'all have a good night, bro. I think my son is getting hungry.
yeah, I'm going, man.
All right, y'all be safe.
All right, Damien The Bell Dibbell. Big matchup coming up. 9 days taking on Darius Metaverona. I mean, how you feeling?
I'm so excited.
Over a week out.
Bro, I'm cloud 9, already on weight. Actually had to cut for once. Well, just lose weight for once to get down to this match. So, I'm excited, healthy, just ready to get at it.
Awesome, dude. I mean, just kind of been much of the same, or can we see any new tricks from you?
I mean, it's going to be the same but different, Stuck out, different person, if that's how you want me to put it. Just, I'm expecting to drop him in the early rounds. So, just do what works, hit him hard, and leave him on the mat.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him obviously have, a hard start to his career. A lot of people don't realize, his past from SFC and what he was able to accomplish there. He ran into somebody called Damien, he ran into obviously Wolverine, which changed the trajectory and the course of that. And then Wolverine later ran into you, and you changed the trajectory of Ron's career as well, so much that he left the division. And
he said, "Nah, I don't want that."
That's true. I mean, he admits it, man. He talks about not being the same fighter after fighting you, so I don't think it's any blemish or shade on you, to be completely honest. And so now things kind of come full circle. Guys that were all coaching together, coming back once again, WrestleMania weekend. Co-main event doesn't have any wrestlers in it, and it's you guys at the top of the mountain once again going at it. How does a guy like Darius even begin the game plan for somebody like you?
I mean, it's probably going to be a lot of defensive. Like, I'm sure he's got to be thinking about, now you have to take the first hit. So, and dropped by Ron. I hit harder than Ron. Wes wobbled him. I dropped Wes easily. Like, it's going to be hard. I think he needs to really focus on his defense. That's where his mindset's going to be, getting through that first round and trying to capitalize on doing more damage in the earlier rounds. Because I'll admit it, my earlier rounds are usually not my best rounds. I love going the distance. I love those deep matches. It really, gets the blood going, and it's just more fun that way.
I mean, you've been a guy that's, taking advantage or taking care of business every time that you're up there. You have an unblemished record here in Powe Slap. It just, the math that you were saying, I'll say Powe Slap math seems to be mathing so far based off your previous academics here. So guess you got the law school smarts also translate over to algebra. Seems to be working for me right now.
Hey man, if it works, it works. All right. Like, if the formula's checking out, just keep putting it in and you'll get the same result.
Yeah. How much of an advantage does that coin toss make? Like in reality, that you're going to strike with your ability in that round one. I think it's fairly safe to say that he'll be a little dazed when or if it comes time to swing back in round one.
Yeah, me personally, I feel like it depends on the champions, but for a lot of the champions, and even in the or unless you're talking about fucking Rob Trujillo. Let me say that first before someone jumps down my neck with it. But usually you're not looking at a immediate round one knockout from most of the champs. Like that's not you're not expecting Isaiah to round one knockout everybody he goes up against. For me, it's a different story because most people are not okay after getting hit by me. So I feel like going into every single match, people are going to have to really be focusing on their defense and surviving that round one and being okay enough to deliver a good round one to even match and continue that momentum. Because if it's very easy to get broken down in that earlier rounds and let that carry out throughout the rest of your fight. Like it could be discouraging to some guys. So I feel like work on your defense and I really shouldn't be giving out all these game plans to beat me, but yeah, work on your defense and really get up there so you know you can take the hit and give it back in the earlier rounds and really try to get that momentum back on your side.
For sure. I mean, do you see a point where the stage can become too big for you in Power Slap? Because I mean, they keep coming in big events, big moments. You fought international fight week, WrestleMania, like, or you just build different.
I mean, I'm not worried about the stage I fight on, the crowd. Most of the time, I got my LASIK surgery. Still don't look at the crowd. Still don't look at anybody in particular. Whenever I'm up there, it's me and that person, and we're just having a great time. Just that one-on-one connection, that emotional connection we're having on that stage in that moment. We're just getting real intimate up there. Okay, that's I ain't worried about everyone else.
Well, what does it say about you guys, the heavyweight division, that on the main card, we've got 3 of the 4 fights are all in the heavyweight division. We got Pono Powe, Johnny Magna, Jake Haggard, Delvin Jenkins, and then you and Darius. It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's an exciting division. I mean, when you really talk about the most exciting to watch, in my opinion, is heavyweight, just because the biggest guys delivering crazy knockouts. Seeing someone that's 200 some pounds getting dropped after one hit, and like the power that these guys are putting out, and it makes sense why for WrestleMania they want good, exciting knockouts. It makes sense why they bring out a lot of the heavyweights. I feel like it's just one of the most exciting divisions right now.
For sure. What do you make of Pono Powe, Johnny Magna?
I feel like Pono should have that match, but Johnny's been training very well. He's been asking questions. Even when I saw him, he was asking me advice and like off rip on how to get better or how I do certain things. So I feel like that's a good matchup because it's more of a toss up because Johnny's just been working so hard, but Pono has the experience and he's been up there and performed against the top talent. Like he beat himself when he fought Dorian. Like he really just wasn't in the right mindset, and then a year break. We'll see how that affects if he was leveling up as he said, or if that's really going to play a detriment to him. Because a lot of guys coming off of long gaps, it could fuck you up. I mean, not everyone's Damien The Bell that could just come off the bench in a year and knock someone out. Not everyone could do that. It's okay, but we'll see. But personally, if I had to put my money on someone, I think Johnny got it. I feel like new blood. I think it would be exciting for the division if he won. I feel like a Johnny versus Dorian fight would be crazy to watch, especially if he wins by knockout or does something crazy. I feel like that'd be exciting. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion.
Wow, bold prediction, man. I like it. Always good to catch up with you, champ. I'm gonna see if I can get you to talk a little shit here because Hill DeBell is a lot funner. I find, especially on social media. Jake Hager, what do you think, man? I mean, he's the fight right before you. That's a pretty big spot. Of course, he draws Devin Jenkins, who hasn't had the most successful run in Power Slap. What do you think about that matchup? What do you think about the spot that Jake's getting on the card? All of it.
Well, first off, I feel like that's the most obvious kind of toss up to your celebrity fighter that you want to do well. I mean, we all look what they did with the dumpling when he came in. Like, oh, put him against Devin Jenkins, who's 0-2. But at the same time, he's new, he's fresh. Devin Jenkins, he's 0-2. He's lost twice, but he's done it twice. He still has the experience, and if he's really been working at it, I feel like he has an advantage going into this. Just because he's a big name doesn't mean he's going to do well in the sport. And I feel like you don't want your celebrities coming in here and doing poorly against, unranked competition. And I feel like you don't want that being your main card event. But, that's just me. That's my opinion.
What do you think about Austin Turpin's debut in the heavyweight, or I'll call it his rebirth into the heavyweight division? It's not his debut, of course. He draws TJ Thomas, another guy that we've only ever seen at 205 pounds. A bit surprising, but it's the match that we have, and it's in your division. He's a guy that's been talked about a lot. He's talked about you at length. Give me your thoughts on one, the match that he got into, where he's going to fall on that. Again, I want to keep calling it a debut, but in that rebirth.
Debut, rebirth. He's had 3-4 heavyweight fights at this point. There ain't no rebirth, debut. He been a heavyweight. They just finally admitted it. They knew what was happening. And they literally gave him a light heavyweight fighter. What more do I need to say about that? He went from fighting a dude in middleweight to fighting a dude at light heavyweight while he's still a heavyweight. What is happening? Who is it? Say he does win this fight. What does that say for the heavyweight division? Oh, he's great for unranked, basic. Honestly, at this point, why not just have him fight Jack? Jake. I forget his name. Jake Hager. Whatever.
So it's technically both. It's Jake Hager in reality. It was Jack Swagger in the WWE. So you're not wrong at all.
Yeah, see, I knew there was a reason I'm getting confused. Yeah, whichever one he prefers to go by. Yeah, no. I feel like those two fighting would have been a fun matchup, and let's be real here, that would have just been your celebrity toss-up match. That, honestly, in my opinion, that would have made sense for being right before my matchup, because that's just getting the crowd involved. That's getting the views. That's an exciting match. What if he loses? That's the other thing. What if he loses against TJ? He can't even beat a fake heavyweight. Then what do you do with him? Retire. Just end it. You're done. Cut off. Leave. You're done. It's over. End up like Ryan Phillips. Gone. Disappeared. Useless to the void. Go get a day job. It's okay. We all can't fight, bro. It's okay. It's okay. Just go to sleep. Take a nap, bro. I'm done. I'm tired of it. The whole situation.
You're muted, Corey. It looked like something good, but you're muted.
I was gonna say, what would happen if Austin Turpin was to miss weight at heavyweight?
Bro, at that point, don't even let him fight no more. He's done. What are you going to do? Put him to super? Him at super? If Dwayne couldn't do it, he damn sure couldn't do it. He can't even get a heavyweight. They didn't put him against nobody in heavyweight. They could have put him against Devin. Honestly, that would have made sense. Both of them could have had a little come-up fight. Nah. They really tried to give him the biggest feed for what? It's just hilarious to me. I love it. Chaos. I hope he loses. It's going to be so funny.
I didn't know you and Austin had beef.
Beef? Yeah. I don't have beef with him. I just don't like him. There's nothing personal about it. I just don't like the dudes. You ever just see somebody and you could just tell they fake as shit? You just look at them and be like, I can't fuck with this person. That's basically what's going on.
Yeah, you've watched the post-fight interview of his or two. I mean, all right. So let's do it like this. So let's look at what the options would have been if it wasn't TJ, right? So Jujar is out because he's international. We know there's a problem. Jordan just fought. Johnny has a match. Aaron was presumably Johnny's original opponent and was unable to compete for some reason. Pono has a match. West just fought. Zakir's out. Darius is fighting you. So you got Nate and Dorian. So who else would Turpin have fought in their defense in the matchmaking? Like who? What other name was there that would have made sense? Are you gonna give Turpin the number 2 heavyweight? That's crazy. I disagree with that. You gotta let him.
He's been in multiple championship fights. Y'all want him to run his mouth. Let him run his mouth to Nate. Let's hear. Nate's barely number 2 heavyweight. All right, so like he's clinging onto that spot right now. So I feel like it's a good match, and it gives Nate a chance to get a knockout and really submit that he belongs at number 2. But like, let's be real here. Come on. Listen, that's what I'm saying. Personal opinion. King, it's just an opinion.
I think 2's a little bit of a jump, if I'm being honest with you, and that's no disrespect to Turpin's skill set, but it leans right into the narrative that Turpin.
Is Nate really ranked 2 though?
He is. I mean, from the rankings that we can see, he is ranked 2. If there's a guy that's better than him, that's not named Dorian Perez or Damien The Bell, we have yet to see that. But I just think ultimately, Austin Turpin should have to climb the rankings just like anybody else. But my question to you on the flip side is, he's fighting an unranked guy who has only competed at light heavyweight. Is there a world, though, where he wins this fight by emphatic fashion and he becomes ranked, even though he's fighting an unranked guy? Because we've seen that.
Oh, no.
So you don't think that they'll do that?
He's fighting for money. No. He is.
So you don't think you do not think Powe Slap ranks him if he wins this fight?
No. Hell no.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
I feel like they'll rank Turpin, but also you're bringing this up like Turpin had to have a match this time. I'll be real with you. He didn't need to have a match.
That's fair.
Like
That's fair.
More exciting fights elsewhere in other divisions. I don't think he is right. Let's be real here. If he didn't have a valid option, let him sit. Let him fight International Fight Week. You already planned to have that be a big event. That's all I'm saying, bro. Just opinion.
That's fair.
Just opinion.
That's fair. No, I mean, listen, I asked for the heel DeBell, and he came in full force without me even having to do a whole lot.
What do you mean? I didn't even say anything rude this time. I was just being realistic.
Let's recap. So you said Nate ain't really number 2. You said Nate ain't really number 2.
Am I wrong?
Ryan Phillips caught a stray for nothing. I don't even know how he came up. You said that obviously
you tagged me in a comment earlier.
You've given who tagged you? We did.
No, Ryan. He tagged me in a comment earlier
okay.
Talking shit. If he watches this, he know what he did.
Okay, all right. Austin Turpin has gotten a few knocks this evening. Devin Jenkins has gotten some strays. Jake Hager's.
What do you mean? What did I say about Devin? I didn't say nothing about Devin.
You did. You're like he's 0-2. He hasn't had the best start in Powe Slap. You could have skipped. You could have skipped that part. You could have skipped that part.
Start.
But
I feel like it's relevant to the conversation. My bad. Context. I'm sorry you hate context, brother. I'm just being realistic here. I'm telling the full story. There ain't no little segments. We're on Smack Talk, aren't we? Like, let's have a conversation about it.
I appreciate that you know the program better than I do. But I think there's 6 fights total in the heavyweight division on the entire card, top to bottom. I think that there's some exciting prospects that we'll get to see something from. Of course, Zeke Taylor, has issues with the weight the last time. He's now coming back to fight a heavyweight, taking a guy who has fought already, so that's a little bit different. Lance Anoa'i and Amanpreet Singh, a.k.a. Mahabali Shera, are competing against each other. I don't like that matchup personally, actually. I think I don't want to see either of those guys lose. They both got a ton of heart. I'd prefer that they go and have an opportunity to face other guys, but the powers that be decided somebody's got to lose that one, so that'll be one that I'll be extra cued in for. But for you, I mean, obviously you're not a wrestler, and neither are any of the guys in the top two fights. But I mean, I'll give McKinney his due as far as his wrestling career goes. But for you, like WrestleMania, does that matter to you at all? Is that does that feel good? Do you feel like there's an opportunity for you to grab some new fans? Like, what are your thoughts on just the proximity, the timing?
I feel like, of course, it's going to be a great opportunity to grab more fans. I mean, I feel like it's something that wrestling fans could get behind, but I've legitimately never watched wrestling in my entire life. Actually, no, that's a lie. I watched midget wrestling one time. That was a great time. I got drunk as shit, watched some midgets fuck each other up. That was a vibe. But other than that, I've never fucking watched wrestling. So I Jack Swagger, didn't know who he was. I barely knew The Rock wrestled. Let's be real here. UFC, wrestling, and most boxing, like new boxing.
What's this
I'd be
like?
working
You want to
out.
be a boxer? I think it's a real bad idea, buddy.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay, Corey.
Yeah,
I thought
smack
I was
talk.
in my heel
Smack
era.
talk, Damien The Bell.
Okay. Okay.
It's smack
What's
talk.
your opinion, Corey?
It
What's
is.
your opinion? Let me hear what you got to
is.
say.
I think you should stay this champ of Power Slap. You're being God's given gift to get slapped in the bean and make really good money at it. Don't screw this up. Frank will not look favorably upon you getting into boxing. I don't have to go down the long list, aka Wesley Drain, trying to go back to MMA. I don't need to see the people's champ, Damien The Bell, laying on the mat. So stick in your lane.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy, Corey. That's crazy. Did you hear this nonsense? You supporting this?
Hey, I would have
Why not
never.
two
Hey,
options,
hey,
dude?
I would have never done you like that, bro. We got the New York thing and the American thing.
That's
I would have never
crazy.
I'd have never done that.
Don't worry, buddy. I
Wow,
won't be at
no
the event.
faith in your
You can't
boy,
find
man.
me.
That's why he's talking shit. He's like, I
Exactly.
ain't gonna be there.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna see me.
Yeah.
He's gonna get hit upside the head and forget I said this. Matter of fact.
Well,
But no,
there
I've
is
always just
something
liked fighting.
about it.
I just want if they would let me nah, there's getting knocked out round one. Let's be real here. Let's be real, guys. That's non-issue. Non-issue this time. But no, I honestly just like fighting. I feel like it'd be fun to take a couple boxing matches, and I just want to be able to do it. Period. I'm not allowed to. If they were like, "Hey, you got a break for 8 months a year, go nuts. Have a 1-2 matches." I'd do it. I'd be fine. I'd chill, power slap, do my thing. But at a certain point, kind of get bored. I mean, how many times can you go slap a dude and just lay him out, make some money, hang out with Dana White and shit? Lame. I'm gonna go box. I'm gonna go punch people in the neck. I'm gonna go do dirty boxing. That sounds fun, bro.
All right. Okay.
Throw an elbow, bro. Like,
I'll back up
Superman
a little
punch,
bit, okay?
motherfucker.
I'll back up a little bit. You can box if it's Dwayne Crespo, and that's it. Okay.
That's so dirty. You can box, but only Dwayne. You gotta drop your boy. That's it.
So, there you go. I think you can win that one. So I can get behind the champ. All right.
Wow.
Wow. Fucking hate it.
Yo, wait till
I didn't know
Dwayne
I had
sees
an
this.
option.
Holy shit, you counting him out too. Dwayne has a win. I'll have you know, Dwayne has a win over the current super heavyweight champion. Have you know?
He does.
But he has a knockout loss to the contender in that match.
Does that mean he's the champ, the real champ? Is that what's going on in social? I haven't seen it.
I mean, he is the uncrowned champion. That's how it works, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, if maybe I have to go Chris Thomas, he'll tell you. He seems to have that formula down.
Oh my god.
No, but champ. So yeah, let's let Chris do Chris's thing. But champ, I'm curious though, genuinely, like, and I might catch some shit for this, but what else is new?
Whoa.
When you are perceived and you feel so far ahead of your competition, no matter who the guy is, how do you get up and continue to kind of work and refine the skills when you're like, man, this is just another walk in the park? Like, that's how it sounds when you say it. That's what I think people on social media at this point kind of agree with. Like, this is just another another day. Damien is going to cash his checks. We're going to see the same thing we saw last time. Like, do you feel like that ever fucks with you? Like, it kind of gets hard to keep doing this thing?
Nah,
Nah?
See, you're just thinking about it in the wrong perspective. See, I'm not out here to just win. I just don't like losing. And I still haven't completed my main objective. My entire goal in this sport is to absolutely destroy someone's jaw. Like, I want to just like, you ever seen like Mortal Kombat where it's just like that fade into, yeah, I want to do that to someone's jawline at some point. I just want to rip that bitch off. As soon as I do that, sure, everything's done. Then I'm bored. Until that day, you can bet your ass I'm gonna be in the gym every single goddamn day working my ass off until I get to that point. That it's as simple as that. Perspectives, man. Perspectives.
That's fair. That's fair. Is there any part of this that is does this match feel at all different to you than any of the other matches? I mean, obviously you took on Ron, but Darius is a guy that you have history with. At one point, you respected him the way I think he probably respects you now, and because you guys switched seats, and you're the one on the throne. He's the contender who's trying to come up. At one point, that was you. Do you feel like something about this is a little different? I mean, I've seen you say Darius is going to lose very obviously, and you predict that it's a first round knockout. I haven't heard you say anything disrespectful about him by any means, or talk about his history really. So it feels like maybe there's a little bit of respect there from you. Is that weighing in on at all on
Yeah,
how
of
you
course.
are approaching this?
Yeah, like just because I know I'm going to knock him out doesn't mean that it doesn't take away from his history of what he's done in the sport. I mean, he still went like 17-0 or some shit. He went 28 rounds with Ron. He's been a fighter. Like he's been doing it longer than I have. He's been there for the entire evolution of this fucking sport. He just, for a while couldn't catch his stride and is now finally getting back up into it. It's just I know with how his chin is and how my power is, 1+1 = 2. 2 means he ends up on the mat. You see what I'm saying? It's just because I'm saying I'm going to knock him out in one round doesn't mean that he's getting knocked out in one round by everybody else. Like he's just bad or nothing. It's no offense to him. It's just about me beating him. Simple as that.
Hard to argue
Just
that.
opinion though. Don't flame me. Don't flame me. Just opinion.
I just want you to know, man, that as a viewer, and we saw this on the last clip we posted about you, where you said, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of, I'm going to hit you as hard as you ever been hit, probably in your career at the least, probably in your entire life. If you make it through that first one and you come back for a second, it's going to get even worse. I'm just going to do it again. And I think I just think people feel that. Like, I think that's one of the realer things you can say. Like, this is who I am. This is what I've done. And at this point, you've done it enough times in considerable fashion that people kind of are like, this guy's not fucking lying. He's telling the truth. And so when you say it sitting here, like it seems like par for the course. Like this is just who you are. And Dorian is the little asterisk, right? Where it's like, all right, that fight looked different, right? I don't know what he has to do to get back there. That was obviously one of our fights we said that needed to happen in 2026 was the rematch. You've spoken outwardly about that needing to happen. He's obviously made comments on it as well. So hopefully, should you be able to get past Darius, that will be the next thing for you. I think it still to this day makes sense. Of course, there's 5 other heavyweight matchups that can do something spectacular to throw their name in somewhere in that mix. So I can't tell you for sure, but nobody's looked any different except Dorian Perez. So it's very exciting. I'm excited to see you next week during fight week once again. You've been on the bench for what I would call too long. Before we wrap, where are you at on the law thing, man? You have aspirations to be a lawyer, but I don't know that we talk about enough kind of where you're at with that process and what's next.
Well, I'm in the state I want to be in. So step number 1 completed, moved. I'm in New York now, as many of you probably know already, but finally moved up here. Gotta wait a little bit for like residency and shit to kick in because unless you buy a house, you still gotta live here for a certain amount of time. But just saving money at this point, I still takes money to do all this shit, and moving was a lot more expensive than I wanted it to be. And if you didn't know, it's cold up here, and you kind of need shit for that, so that got expensive. So looking forward to this fight, and hopefully a fight right after that. Get back on track for this law school thing because your boy needs some fights. I'm tired of it, man. God, got me working here.
You a toboggan or a snow machine or what, buddy?
Bro, I felt like I needed a snowmobile. Like, it got rough. Buffalo, they was not playing. It got cold.
Here's a joke that you'll like. All right, and I don't think your wife will like it too much. But how do you turn your dishwasher into a snowblower?
Oh God, how?
Just give her a shovel.
Corey, you can't say that.
Why not?
We're getting canceled, Corey.
You can't get me. Me and your wife are cool, man. Come on, don't worry. It's all good.
Bro, she's gonna see this bag and be like, "What the fuck is Corey on?" I thought he was cool, man. What the fuck? That was great. That was straight from the construction site. I love that. Things just like I don't want to be associated at all. You don't want to be in this good. They just
come on, dude. We've had Chinese food together. It's so good. Don't worry.
Yeah, bro, that Chinese food was busting. I mean, Canadian food was good. Canadian food was.
You ever had? Just name it. See, eats well.
Bro,
Champ eats well in Canada.
The area we're at, I ain't gonna lie, I really did like Canada. It was beautiful out there. It's such a cool area where the convention center was. What a vibe. I want to go back.
Hey, for the record, I would like to say on the record, since you're an aspiring lawyer, that Slap News has done more for your international profile than Powe Slap has.
That's facts. That's crazy. I need to hit up Frank, man. I'm tired of this shit. Frank, what the fuck? Oh God, I love it.
Too funny, man.
Man,
awesome, buddy. Well, I'm sure you got something else to do with your life than talk to us two knuckleheads, so I'll let you run.
All right. You have a good one, man.
All right. Take care. Peace. All right, dang. What a world we live in, eh?
Dude, confidence from anybody is different from confidence of that of Damien The Bell. I mean, it is much more authentic and true, and I think that it extends to the viewer when he says something. It's just different, man. Like that coldness, it just hits different when it's a person that just does not see a fifth round with anybody. As of late, I mean, again, Dorian Perez being that if or that and, but aside from that, he just looks like he walks on water out there, and there's just nobody that can even begin to think about being the guy. So yeah, we haven't heard much from Darius, so we don't know what he's doing. We don't know. He could come. April 17th could come and he could have fucking a 6-pack and massive biceps. We don't know. We haven't seen shit from him. We don't know what he's been up to. There's some questions on his chin, and I think that's the last thing that you want going into a match against Damien The Bell. But at the end of the day, like I said, you have guys like Kalani who have just gotten better as they've battled that feeling more often. They know what the motions are, and they go through them a lot differently. So it's not impossible. But I agree with Damien The Bell when he says 1 + 1 is 2. Like, him and a problem with the chin is not an equation that you want to see in front of you.
Yeah, but don't you think Darius is also in the I don't give a fuck era? Like,
I don't think Darius ever gave a fuck, man.
But I don't know. He seems to be much more free, much more confident. Like there seems to be a different swagger to him. I know obviously he's racked up 3, victories in a row, but like Game
Yeah, but
Studio,
against who?
like
That's
Game
the
Studio
problem I have.
Midwest. But I'm just saying, like it feels like both of the guys are in that same ballpoint. Like they're in that same attitude and mentality. Like I don't think that Darius is losing an ounce of sleep going to this one because I don't think it matters to him. I mean, he's been at that top, he's been there, and he's he's faced the adversity that he has, and I just don't think it means that much to him that he's going to lose sleep over it. Like I get it.
Ah,
The bell is the bell, obviously.
you're gonna make me be the heel here.
No, no, no. No, I mean the bell is the bell, dude. He has the right and a reason to talk to. And some of his interviews actually get boring and hard to talk to because he is just, I'm gonna go up there and knock him out and go up there, and then the same thing happens again and again and again. And he has every right to speak to the way that he does. And until someone dethrones him, which may or may not be relatively soon. I think he's definitely been miles ahead of everybody else in the division here, and as long as he stays away from boxing, I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, I think my honest opinion is I think Darius is getting a match of this magnitude off of the West Mena win, which is a great win, and I think is that is a reasonable contender or opponent to get a win, or excuse me, to get a title match after beating. However, when you talk about resumes in long term, I think a lot of the reason Darius is in this spot is because of the equity that he built up before he had the skid, before he had a little falter with his transition to power slap. And if I'm being honest, if you set aside his history and the path that he's blazed previously, I don't think that his resume of wins in Power Slap is enough to justify him being in the spot he's in. And when you talk about the top that he's reached, it's no secret how I feel about the way that Slap Fight Championship does things. It's not about the athletes; it's about the the entity and the way that they run their show and what they expose their athletes to. Um, I think that top is not even half as prestigious as the top that we're talking about. Damien The Bell has sort of sat on, and I also think not caring in this at this stage when there's these kinds of stakes, it's not a good idea. Damien The Bell is not a guy that you can pony through. Like he's probably the only true champion that you cannot mess around with. Like he's been perfect. We have not seen an error. We have not seen a backstep, and so it concerns me to see that there's this carelessness. He's not doing any media to promote the fight at all. I haven't seen him on social at all, and I know that that's him, but this should be different. This should be his opportunity to regain, to recontrol, to reascend, and it just doesn't seem like he understands or cares about that, and that's concerning to me. And I think ultimately, when you talk about Damien The Bell exuding confidence, rightfully so. He, like I said, he has been the only constant. Obviously Ron at 205 has the same exact trajectory. He's had the same history. He's been virtually just as dominant. He's had some issues when it comes to guys, obviously also Turban missing the weight. Um, you know, but he's had a lot closer matches than Damien The Bell has, with the exception of that Dorian Perez fight, which again, we were talking, if Damien The Bell took a backward step, one step, like that was significant. That's how so mild it was. Versus between him and Allen, there was a lot of moments where you could see, and at the end of 5 rounds, they weren't convinced that he was still the champion, so they made him fight another round. Like Damien The Bell's not been anywhere close to any of that, and so I just think when you talk about the level and where this thing's at, like I don't understand. Damien The Bell's an enigma in the sense that I don't understand how one he continues to go up there against no matter who the competition is and just completely. I know he said he wants to take somebody's jaw and knock it off of their head, but short of that, he's pretty much been as dominant as you can be against anybody. Ryan Phillips, I remember we were like, man, Ryan's never been hurt. This guy knocked Ryan Phillips out cold in the 4th round after eating his shots like it was another day in the office. We never even seen Ryan Phillips hurt, much less completely out cold. This guy sent them to another planet, right? West Mena, right? Hit him first shot, doesn't really get him in the right spot. Second shot, just complete different motion. I mean, these are guys that have been there, done that, had other competition, and they've never looked even close to this. Damien The Bell gets up there and it's just different. And it just blows my mind. Like when you talk about this is the co-main event, you have a main event where these guys are doing similar things. I mean, Power Slap's been posting, which I always think is kind of ironic and funny because at the end of the day, like you got to promote everybody, and they want to promote everybody who's on the card, and I get it, but inevitably, sometimes you're gonna promote one person, and it's gonna kind of demote another person in the process accidentally, and we saw that with Dave Viernes versus Evian Scott. And to be honest with you, before they posted that clip, like that moment doesn't stick in my head as a significant moment in Power Slap, but it is because he absolutely sat Evian Scott down in a very, memey kind of like, memorable way. At the time, it wasn't super memorable, but watching it back, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of a funny way. Like his body kind of like stiffened up and just fell backwards. Like it almost looked like he jumped into a seat. And and that's the main event. You talk about McKinney Manu and just the stage that he's on, all the knockouts. This whole card just has a feel to it that I've never felt before.
Yeah. No, I know we disagree on this, but if you want to see Damien DeBell back, if it's not Darius, who is it? And I know what you're gonna say, but I disagree on it with you, to be completely honest with you. And I don't think that makes sense. I really don't. I think this is better matchmaking. I think it's better storytelling. I think there's a lot more heritage history. I think it'll ultimately be more exciting. Will the outcome be the same or different? I think it's probably going to be the same regardless. But I don't think there's anybody else that's as worthy of a shot once again. And Dorian's already had that opportunity now multiple times, and so I don't know. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited to see how it's going to go. I don't think it's going to play out how people think it is. I think it goes a little bit deeper. I don't know what the over under. I don't think they do over under for how many rounds this fight will go, but if it does, I could see this going a little bit deeper than I think most people think at this particular point.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about who's the best heavyweight in the world, I think there's only two people that you can really put in that, question. And I believe that's the story. That's the answer that we need when it comes to Dorian and Damien. If you talk about again, just the tables turning, the king falling, a new king rising, but he didn't. They didn't. The two of them didn't battle to get that new spot. Now they're kind of righting that wrong, just in reverse. It's an interesting story, but again, I just think from a fan's perspective, and I'll be interested. I guess I'll have data, so to speak, to support this when the odds come out, but I haven't heard of really anybody on social media who's like Darius is going to win this fight. I just haven't. That's the God honest truth. I haven't seen it.
Yes,
and I don't. That's not what you want. You want like McKinney and Dane. As dominant as McKinney's been, there's plenty of people who are saying Hitman's not the guys that McKinney's fought. Even when you talk about the Dumpling as a mutual opponent, I've not seen anyone. Just I haven't seen everybody just saying McKinney's going to knock him out, or vice versa, that Dane's going to knock McKinney out. There's a question. I think the odds will reflect that. When it comes to Damien The Bell, generally, man, it's very one-sided, and that takes the fun out of it. And I hate that it's unfortunately it's to Damien's detriment. It is his fault, but not really. It's not a bad problem to have, I guess. But yeah, I think that's the part of it I'm interested in is what McKinney and Dane have from the viewership perspective, from an audience perspective, is what Dorian and Damien have. Darius and Damien don't have that. They just don't. I'm not saying I want Darius to win or not, or we don't do that stuff, right? That's not our area. But what I will tell you is just, unbiased, what people are saying online is not anything about Darius having a chance. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can go through the top 10 and you say who you think has of who's going to win, Damien DeVell versus any of the other top 10. I think it's a pretty quick.
Yeah, the only question I have is Dorian. The only one that I can't say confidently is Dorian.
Yeah, but we've seen it
before. Because if Dorian didn't make those two mistakes, then they have a draw. But he clubbed and he made some errors on his own end. It wasn't the kind of errors that get you a loss in the round because your opponent did better. It's an error that you just didn't fight within the rules and you got points deducted. You fixed those errors, which up until in his more recent matches you got yourself a whole different situation. So that's what's intriguing to me. Anyway, nevertheless, doesn't matter. The fight we have is Damien DeBell, Darius Destroyer.
Right.
So I'll go fuck myself.
Let me ask you this just before we go on to the undercard, which we teased off the top of the show. I actually think Dane Viernes will open up as the favorite, but I don't think he stays there long on the Vegas line. Do you agree?
No,
You don't agree?
I don't. Makini Manu's undefeated. Dane Viernes lost to Dwayne Crespo. I don't agree. And he barely beat the Dumpling.
So
I
you
don't
think?
agree.
Then what do you think? Do you think McKinney opens as the favorite?
Yeah, I think McKinney opens as a small favorite.
Okay,
Yeah, I
interesting.
think McKinney comes in at minus 120, minus 115.
Okay, interesting. Maybe I was giving
Now,
you
I'm talking from an odds maker. I'm
yeah.
talking from an odds maker. It doesn't mean I'm discrediting what Dane has done by any means, but he's got losses, both of his own doing, of his opponent's doing, and he's got a win against the Dumpling. If you take the mutual opponent, to Damien The Bell's, expert analysis, or was it Damien or was it, no, actually I think it was Juicy. Um, they're very different against the Dumpling. And so that I think that counts for something. I think McKinney actually will open up as the favorite.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, usually historically in Power Slap, the champs have usually gotten a little bit of respect and more benefit of the doubt, but we'll find out, I guess. Well, you should be able to.
Wasn't Wolverine? Wolverine was a dog against Turpin the second time. No,
I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest.
I feel like Henry, help me out, man. At some point, I'm pretty sure Wolverine was a dog against as he was a champion against a contender at some point in time. Um, so it happens. It's just not often. And I think if there's a match for it to happen, it's Mikini Mano versus Dane Viernes because the resumes are just starkly different. Dane has all these goddamn D's and M's, and Dane has been kind of like I think his record's 500. Mikini Mano's been perfect. He had one moment of adversity I can remember, and that was the dumpling in that second round, which he acknowledged was a technical error. He didn't brace, and we saw what happened. I don't think he'll ever do that again. If you want to call the Danny Van Heerden, obviously that fight was very weird. If you want to call that another moment where he didn't look his greatest, but he took that shot. So whether or not his eardrum was blown out or whatever, he was bleeding. Of course, he took the shot. So if it wasn't for all the accessories with the blood and the nose and the ear and I can't hear, and he took the shot as well as we've seen anyone take it. And Danny Van Heerden hits hard, so he knocked down Kalani Bakamilalo. So I just think a guy who just has not faltered at all, he'll probably get the nod for a favorite.
For sure. But let's get to the undercard. Let's talk about some of these fights here. So starting off the night, we've got Chelsea Dodson taking on Zoe Dubois. The Black Swan getting another opportunity right now. Zoe's 1-1 in Power Slap, and I believe Chelsea's 1-1. For the flyweight division, kind of great to see. Definitely a depth match. One that we usually see these first matches of the tape fight. They like to kind of set the tone as well. So trying to get this match in there on the women's side, I think is good for the division overall. Two athletes relatively evenly matched. Obviously, Chelsea Dodson's had one additional match, over Zoe. We know she's obviously training with her husband John and Johnny Magno, who'll be fighting on later in the night. Someone who's been sitting in the wings a little bit as she's recovering from her nose fracture that she sustained last time out. What do you make of this one? Do you think this has some implications in this flyweight that could make things interesting, into the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, of course, you have the group of undefeated flyweights, right? Destiny, Ellie, Paige, and then you have the tier, or what I call the step right below, which is your Chelseas, your Zoes, your Haleys, where they all have one loss. So I think, obviously, I think anybody who can get a knockout in flyweight is automatically putting themselves in a totally different stratosphere, just straight up. If you can do it because it's so seldom done, then you put yourself in a new level. I'm interested more or less in how these ladies will adapt to, obviously they've been on the stage of, before. For Zoe, she's done it on prelims, so this is no different. For Chelsea, she was on a live card and then she went to the prelims. And, I think I hate to say this, but I think the nose break is more than what she'll allow people to believe it is. It just, to me, it doesn't make a ton of sense that you could go through something like that and not let that play in the back of your mind. Like, I'm doing the same activity again that this happened last time. Up until that point, Peter hadn't done anything close to that. Of course, she had issues with fouls just as much, but I just think, will that psychologically mess with Chelsea on the defensive side? The other thing is, in the Peter fight, she did have a moment where she looked like she was rocked. I don't remember if that strike was called a club or not. But she looked like she had it was a moment from Chelsea that we hadn't seen. Zoe hasn't had that on the offensive side that she's inflicted on an opponent, but she's also shown that she's very durable. So I think we won't get odds on this fight, but if I had to say we had odds, it'd be as close to even as you can get, right? We same record. Um, I just think for Chelsea to start her career with a draw against Paige Van Zandt, I'm looking for that level again. I'm looking for that kind of a contender again. And I think the Peta fight obviously had a weird ending, so we never really got to see it. And then her fight against Nicole was very lackluster. I thought she edged it out, but it wasn't, extremely remarkable. I think she needs that moment. I think she's looking for that moment as she's coming back, right? The Chelsea at the Chelsea, the headline, it writes itself. I think momentum's on her side, but at the same time, both of these ladies have to, either Zoe Dubois is going to continue and make it a 2-win streak, or Chelsea Dotson is going to make it a 2-win streak. Um, and I think, they both want it, and somebody's got to knock somebody out.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to the depth of this card, because I think on any of the previous 2 or 3 events, like this is this is a live fight, but with the depth of this card, it's not. Like I think it's definitely could be a live card worthy, and the winner of it, this could be possibly the last time you see them on the tape fight. I think we'll just keep on going up from here. So definitely a good way to start it off. But second, we're going to get 2 new athletes. We are getting Facade taking it on Brian Scrambler, who you've seen here on Smack Talk a couple weeks back, getting his opportunity. Former wrestler from Arizona, getting his chance. He's been around the scene for a while. He's kind of known as the weight loss expert. He's helped some athletes in Powe Slap cut weight and get down, and he's going to show off. He's not a young cat, but he, in talking with him, he's been able to put all of his, body of work that he's put in the past into Powe Slap. He feels like this is something that is going to go very well for him, and he's really excited. Obviously, Facade on the other side, I believe, is at the camp that you attended better part of a year ago now. So you would have a better, assessment of seeing him in person. I've seen Brian, obviously myself. Brian is definitely going to be the shorter guy by 5 to 6 inches over Brian. So there's definitely going to be, a height and stature difference between these 2 individuals going into it. And we're going to see how it all plays out in the welterweight division. Brian's definitely more of a lightweight than he is a welterweight. So he will be the undersized guy going up, in this particular match. And other than that, can you add anything on Facade standpoint, what you know about him, as a wrestler, or, any other athletic endeavor he's been in?
Yeah, I know that he's very much an acrobatics when it comes to wrestling, and obviously his nickname's the Neon Ninja, so there's some of that performance in there. I don't think that that'll help you much in Powe Slap. Maybe the rotation and kind of his dexterity, but I think my number one concern is he attended the camp so long ago. He's very, very active on the wrestling scene. So I just don't know how much time he spent, honing in his craft in the last, I'll say 10 months, but 8 months of 2020 that were there, or 2025, excuse me. I don't know what I'm talking about, 2020. But on the flip side, Brian's been very, very invested and a part of this thing. He is a smaller guy. He's bulking up in weight to get to 70. I think that the welterweight decision was probably a Facade thing, to be honest with you. He is a little bit taller. I don't know. He doesn't look like he would weigh that much, but obviously, again, this match is taking place at 70 for a reason. I know Scambler was a little concerned as to why. Like, he's like, I'm a lightweight, but doesn't really make a ton of sense. But he's not going to say no to an opportunity that he's been asking for. But he's dealing with some experienced strikers on his preparation. Pono Pa, obviously, he was part of the fight week last time out for Powe Slap 18, helping strikers, looking at guys that are not only weight cutting, but also obviously the performance side of it. He's standing next to people who are helping other people. And so I think when you talk about just the Venn diagram, Brian Scambler's put himself in that place. So, but it is two new guys. Anything can happen. I think it's exciting. This is one of those wrestler or not is going to win. Whereas you have, I think, one match on the or two matches on the card where it's wrestler, which that's no fun because you want to figure out the wrestler's real, they're not real. You can't if you put them against each other, then you don't get the answer.
Well, the next match is just that.
I hate it. I think it's the match that I hate.
Go ahead.
Is it? It's Lance and Mahabala Shera. Yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of this match. I mean, obviously Lance Anoa'i, big name, from the the bloodline side of things. His family's very in the mainstream storylines of the WWE. And his a lot of his family members on the Indies doing really well. He's got the Polynesian thing going on, so there's a lot of those guys that are mixing together, right? You just heard Juicy talk about it. Even though Lance's family, they're Samoan. Juicy's a Tongan. There's other guys in there, right? Jacob Fatu, who we mentioned. Those guys have all been intermingled and linked. So he's got some star power behind him, and the I won't say that he's got the most eyes on planet Earth, but the eyes that he has, they have tons of reach, and those are guys like we saw Makini Manu get a shout out from Rikishi earlier today. That's big stuff. It's important and it helps, especially when you talk about WrestleMania weekend. That crossover is led by those types of things. On the flip side, you look at Mahabali Shera. He represents the Jujar Singh lineage of people. Obviously, he's Indian born. I believe he lives in the United States now, and he has for a while, but he still retains his Indian heritage very, very closely. He incorporates it into his character. In fact, his name Mahabali Shera is sort of a homage, if you will. Referring to him as the Indian Lion. So there's two sides of this that are you're gonna have this very passionate fan base. And we've talked about it's the Polynesians and the Indians. We've seen both of those kind of be this roaring force that just it seems like it's on the track that's unstoppable. Now you put them together. The problem is it's on the undercard. So I'm not sure where that's going to go. So the two issues I have is one of these guys has to lose, which is not a good thing. Not that there was really no matchup you could give either of them that was a guaranteed win regardless. But you put them against each other, somebody's got to lose. So I'm not a fan of that aspect of it because you just don't want to see it. I'm not saying that it's a mistake from Powe Slap's perspective because this is what they do. But from a fan's perspective and a growth, potential perspective, I'd like to see him take on other competition. Size-wise, Mahabali Shera is the bigger guy by far. He obviously has a huge, lifting background. Very, very, larger guy. But Samoans, they're just built a certain way in the same. So I'm interested, man, because these are heritages that have this toughness and this resilience to them. Their guys, their representatives up until this point have looked great. From India's perspective, you've had issues like Gurpreet obviously didn't have a great debut. Pardeep had a great debut. Manjot didn't have the greatest debut. Jujar had a great debut. So I guess on the Indian side, I'll say it's kind of half and half. Mm-hmm. On the Polynesian side, it's mostly one way. Hitman's never been knocked out. McKee's never been knocked out. Hawaiian's never been knocked out. Pono's been knocked out once. The Chief's been knocked out twice that I can think of. Zach Zane's never been knocked out. So I guess it's a toss-up either way, but just kind of in the back of my head, I'm thinking chances are the Polynesians have proven more than the Indians up until this point. But these are the questions that will get answered. That's what I'm interested in. Like, this is what we will find out. It's now it's kind of like a cultural thing where you're interested to see who will prevail because Polynesians have been relatively perfect. And now Indians are coming in and they're doing something that nobody expected. And the viewership and all the stuff that Jeeves prophesied, I'm gonna call Jeeves the prophet here, about the Indian people, it's all come true, man. It blew up in a way that we didn't expect. So again, I don't understand why it's on the undercard. I wish that we could, I wish we had some influence or something, but yeah, I'm disappointed that this is not going to be seen by the live fan. And listen, don't forget, I'll watch it. So I'm not saying this for me. I wish you guys got to watch it.
Yeah, well, I got to get a shirt for him that says Jeeves the Prophet across it for next week for you. Definitely, man. But you know what? I'll be honest. Both these athletes that I seen in the camp, going into it, Lance was the bigger name. I was like, I would say I was in awe, but it was like Lance was the guy that I went in the camp with. From everybody that I talked to, this is the guy you want to watch. This is the guy you need to get tape on. He's gonna be the guy coming out of the camp, and this was pre-camp. He had a lot of hype behind him. Obviously, you talk about the family, the heritage, the lineage, everything that went into it. Sitting down and getting the chance to actually talk with him, connect with him, hear his story, and really like, hey man, like how much of a risk is this for you? Like you spent your entire life trying to follow in the footsteps of your father and your grandfather for that matter as well. And your family's built out this phenomenal career, and obviously he did as well. For himself, across the indie scene, and even had a cup of tea, obviously with the WWE as well in the development camp, scene, and and I thought we'd see him already. It didn't happen right away. But I will say this, there was one guy in that camp that you were like, dude, you don't want to see him in a back alley. You wouldn't want to be standing across from him at a table. And it was Amanpreet Singh. The guy, as you said, is physically imposing. He's a guy that comes from not very much, who's had to overcome a lot, come to America, make a name. For him, this is a big risk because he has created an aura and a following in the wrestling world. He was on, the Netflix documentary, the same one that Hollywood Haley J was on, as being, one of the first, Indian wrestlers to make it in America, etc. I don't know the whole story. But he's given up a lot to be here. And I think, and I'm not saying that Lance was served on a silver platter, silver spoon. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. There just seems to be a different level of heart, determination, pride, and meaningfulness to what he's doing here in Powe Slap. He just seems to have more dedication. I could be completely wrong, but I've, been able to talk and interview both these guys. And he just seems like he's cut from a different cloth. He seems like he has, I don't know, that lioness prowl to him. I think it's going to be a great match. It's going to be one that, unfortunately, as you said, one of these two athletes will have to lose. And I think this is going to have implications on that top 10 ranking. And I think you'll see one of these guys climb in the bottom part of it, and be able to make some noise. And I think, the winner of this match is definitely going to upset some people when they drop their name, in there and bump somebody out. But it's definitely good for the sport, good for the division. This heavyweight division continues to get even more stacked when they bring talent like this in, and we're going to find out real soon. But next match is definitely one of the wrestling prowess as well. We've got Teal Piper, the daughter of Roddy Piper, taking on Danny Moe. Teal hasn't been part of any camps up until this particular point. Danny Moe was at your camp, Ding, that you went to, and I want to say, was it May 20?
Yeah, May of last year.
May 25. What do you know of Danny, and what have you seen from her? I mean, she's been around the scene for a while. Didn't get an immediate opportunity, but that opportunity is now at Powe Slap 19.
Yeah, I think, to my knowledge, she had, I think, two other scheduled, matches that were, pencil to paper, I'll call it. They didn't work out for whatever reason. So I think that gives me a little bit of hope that she was kind of continuing to train. I think from a camp perspective, I wouldn't say she was a standout at that time. I think she was trying to figure out what was. I know it was also only the second camp they had done, right? It was kind of still a newer thing, and I think she was trying to figure out kind of her place in it all. No significant power or anything like that. But I always worry, if you go to a camp and you don't compete until a year later, my question is always, how much effort have you put in? Because I know, on good faith, so to speak, that she's had two matches that were, supposed to happen. Again, there was no contract signed, but it was what I'll call pencil to paper. I think that gives me a little bit of hope that she's been training. On the flip side, Teal Piper obviously has the name recognition, as you mentioned, the daughter of the late great Roddy Piper, excuse me. But she wasn't able to attend the camp. It was, I think, the one that you did in December. She was supposed to be there. She had a booking issue. She wasn't able to make it. Has she found somebody to work with? Is there somebody that's going to help her? Or is it, you show up on Monday fight week and you're going to learn everything you're supposed to know and go up there and slap? I don't think that that's going to make for a great competition. But again, I'm just speculating. I haven't really seen a ton on social from either of them related to this. So I think again though, these are featherweight women, although they don't look that large. I don't know that's either their what's the word I'm looking for, their ideal home, so to speak, long term. Maybe this is this is what we could make given the timing. But featherweight needs talent, so it doesn't hurt to have two ladies that are jumping in there and figuring it out. So I don't expect this to be a barn burner because of the experience and again the amount of time it's been. Teal's she didn't go to a combine, so she doesn't necessarily have like homework to do. Again, unless if she's reached out to somebody who's helping her remotely or coaching her, then all of that is moot. It's out the window. What I'm saying is completely incorrect, and that's totally fine. And then on the flip side, you have Danny Moe, who competed in a combine or participated in a combine a little close to a year ago. But she's had the matches, so did she reach out to some people? Was she working with people? I mean, obviously, she was part of wrestler camp where many of those athletes have competed. I can tell you, though, a great assumption to make is that she is not getting slapping advice from Hollywood Haley J, because those two do not like each other. So I know that for sure, but there could be some other people that are helping her.
There isn't there?
They absolutely have a wrestling born personal beef that has gotten physical, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story, but I do know it's pretty nasty. So we'll be interested to see. They are actually
going to be together that
in the
week
same
and
locker room.
probably on the same side.
Yeah, blue corner. Absolutely.
Well, they were at the same camp though, and there was no issue. So I think they'll be professional. Danny Moe, to be honest with you, is very reserved and I'll say bubbly. I don't mean that in like she's a walk in the park kind of sense, but she's very nice. She has contagious energy, super laughy and smiley. And Haley was at the camp. She was also, because I felt like she was among friends. I don't anticipate either of these ladies want to jeopardize anything. And again, like from what I could tell, it seemed like Denny's kind of, hey, Haley's aggressive towards me, and I don't want any, whatever. I'm not here to cause any trouble. So I don't think it's a two-sided thing, regardless. Yeah. So I don't think we'll have any problems there. So don't any of you guys go running to fucking tell people that we're starting trouble here. There ain't gonna be no beef between Danny Moe and Hollywood Haley J. All right.
Absolutely. Next on the docket, Marty the Moth, previous victorious over Zicky Dice, taking on Zeke Taylor, quasi newcomer, I guess. He was supposed to face, supposed to fight a power.
Justin, your guy, man, Justin Newhook.
Justin Newhook, power slap number 18. That didn't take place. The biggest thing that's going to stand out for me here, obviously, Zeke Taylor had the weight issues, rumored to showed up in Las Vegas around the 300-pound mark for the heavyweight limit of 265. He was unable to make that weight. However, they were able to, come to an agreement on that. The match, unfortunately, didn't happen due to medical issues. Without having 100% certainty, we'll just leave it at that at this particular moment in time. So Power Slap was 5 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago?
About, yeah.
So
March 6th, so 5 weeks.
So we had Zeke Taylor. What was he at? 185?
278, I think he came in at.
Okay, 278. So 278 about 4 weeks ago. Would still need to drop another 12 pounds from that. We know he was very, quite depleted. Hopefully he's taken it incredibly serious to be able to drop down to make that weight cap. We know Marty the Moth, not the biggest guy, around that, low 230 pound kind of range. So on the smaller side for the heavyweights, there's definitely going to be a height discrepancy here and a weight discrepancy in this particular match. Marty is going to have the experience with one additional match over Zeke in this one. And I do kind of like it, to be honest. Zeke also has, that Islander background. He's, former wrestler as well, a guy that, has a lot of grit to him. You can tell he's fighting for more than himself. And then we're going to see Marty the Moth continue to I'm trying to get clever here, but will we see Marty the Moth evolve in the evolution of from the cocoon to a moth to a butterfly and ascend up the ranks in the heavyweight division?
Fucking caterpillar,
Yeah.
Marty the caterpillar. I thought he was tough, man. I thought he was tough. I mean, to be honest with you, what Zicky Dice was tossing at him didn't seem to have a whole lot on it. I think that was just an experience error, but he didn't seem to be bothered at all. He was laughing, you know. So I don't know that I'm a big fan of the moth thing. I think Martin Casals is probably what I would have went with. Like, he's coming out, he's fucking flapping his wings. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of that. I think he's a guy that he's got a nice physique to him. He's a bigger guy. He's a nice guy. He's got the long hair. I think that sells. I think Marty the Moth was the wrong move. That's my personal opinion. I don't mean any disrespect. I think he should have just done the Martin Casals, his real name, and kind of just let the build and the stature speak for itself. But nevertheless, Zeke Taylor, I'm not going to give him as much credit on the weight side. I think, he was 278 when he weighed in. I can guarantee you he probably ran to the back and tried to gain as much of that weight back as possible. Being depleted at 278 and it wasn't easy. Those guys were torturing him to get him down there. So I'm not sure how soon after that he knew he needed to get down again. So I don't know that he's going to have as easy of a weight cut as we might think, where it's like, oh, it's just 12 pounds. I don't think it is 12 pounds. I think it's probably he was probably close to he was probably over 290 fight night anyway. But these guys got close to competing, man, which sucks for them both. For the Newfoundland Nightmare, it sucks a little more because obviously now we know what we know about the Canadian talent and the international talent, of course. But so Z gets an opportunity to turn around quickly. Justin doesn't get that same chance. So, but I don't know, man. I don't know that depending on the timing and how careless he was at that time, I don't know that he's going to, have that easy of a go. What are you doing, man? You got cards in your hand. You got something up your sleeve here?
I got nothing, man.
You gonna make us fucking pick V? Okay, I was gonna say you make us pick V friends for all these
No,
for all the
no.
athletes on the undercard.
AD just gave them to me. We've got an order back from PSA. Got a couple. I don't know if the camera will pick these
I
up.
cannot see that. It's a female. I know that. And it's got a middle finger up, so that's definitely not Valentina.
No, it's Dakota, but the glare on it, I don't think is gonna work, is it?
That's Dakota Ditcheva?
Yeah.
Oh, those are PFL cards.
Yeah, there's a PFL card. Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting. Get that off my screen, man. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Don't show me anymore, please. You might break the camera.
The rest of it's football. So I don't know.
All right, cool. So that works. Any good tens in there? Any good tens?
A couple, man. Yeah. I mean, Shador Sanders was a college phenom now with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, rookie. I like it.
So there's a 10. And then Will Howard, former Ohio State alumni, now in Pittsburgh. Little silver there also.
I like it.
Yeah. Just a couple of that, man. The rest of it, too bad. Nice little Raider rookie, Trevor Lawrence.
I like that. That's the what do they call that?
Acetate. You can see right through it.
Acetate. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, acetate. I'm sure Austin Vanderford, Paige Vanderford, Austin Turpin. They'd all love this card.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I just fucked that up.
Why is that?
Well, I was supposed to be talking about Powe Slap, and then I got distracted because I'm like a little kid. And
Yeah.
What do I make of what? Sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to go off topic. I was going to say of the whole Ellie and Paige ducking thing and all that drama.
I mean, we know they wanted it on the card, and it's not on the card, and that's a shame. And hopefully they can figure it out. It sucks. It's the finality we need in the flyweight division. I think it's the right fight to make for a belt. The question now becomes if Paige VanZant does not want to compete, which is totally her right, and I think it was always the elephant in the room, so to speak. Can we just move on? Can the winner of Hollywood and Destiny become the number one contender against Ellie to fight for a belt? I don't know that that's the direction the Powe Slap goes, but
it's the only direction you could go if Paige decides to walk away.
Yeah. I don't know, but I don't know that this means Paige is walking away.
But or does Michelle, McCole, or does she have something to say about that?
She's
Um,
international, so she doesn't have
mhm,
anything to say about it right now, except passport, visa.
100%.
She can say visa. That's it. But anyway, so Zeke Taylor, Marcus House. I'm gonna
Yeah.
call him Marcus House, even though he's Marty the Moth. Whatever. His real name's in his fucking Instagram handle, so I know he's not trying to hide it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm interested to see what that goes. Hopefully, I hope and pray Zeke can make weight safely.
Yeah.
And it's just a shitty debut to have when you miss weight. We found enough times that the fan base is not friendly to weight misses, so not a good start. All right, who do we got next?
Next, I mean, you're going to have to help me here because I'm pretty sure I have both their legal names. I don't know what they go by, but we have Mecha Wolf
Okay, yep, Mecha Wolf and then Joey
taking,
Success.
taking on who?
Joey Success.
Joey Success. All right, perfect. There we go.
So Mecha Wolf has competed now twice. Joey Success
I
was
know.
at he was at one of your camps.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah,
So
latest.
I mean, but Mecha Wolf's got the experience edge for sure. He's been hit more times. Obviously, the Marco Martinez. It's funny he's fighting the Martinez again. Marco Martinez or Javi Martinez. Obviously, that was a weird one. He wins that fight. He gets the DQ win. He gets dropped, but looks all right. Gets back up. Looks like it was just technical error in his recovery, I think. But comes back from that fight. Edris Wolf loses that match, which is interesting. But it looked better, looked more durable, looked more, comfortable. I'll say. So I don't think this guy. He doesn't strike me as a guy that likes to lose. He seemed very locked in ahead of this one. So experience is on his side, but Joey's success has also been at chomping at the bit for a while. This is, he's been kind of trying to build his own personal brand anyway. So this is a part of that picture. So I think either way, you got hungry guys on both sides. I just think Mecha Wolf, I don't mean no disrespect, of course, but he's not the youngest guy on the roster. So I don't know that he has so much time to mess around and have, stutter steps. So I anticipate that he'll be coming into this with a chip on his shoulder.
I need to interrupt this program
Uh-oh.
because we've got a very large, massive human being who's making
Oh,
an
wow.
appearance. What is happening?
Yes, sir, bless sir. Hey
Man,
guys, how you feeling?
doing really
What's
good.
up,
We
brother?
appreciate you taking the time for a guy
Let's
that's
go.
a super heavyweight champ. We don't hear from you too often. So it's definitely a blessing to have you here live in the flesh. How you feeling all of 9 days out from defending your strap for the first time against McKinney Manor?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I got confidence in myself. A lot of distractions, but hey, it comes with it. Holding a title, so ain't nothing new to me, and I just got to go in there and do my thing.
For
You
sure.
know, a lot of talk, but I'm excited for just this opportunity. Is just like how my brother had his opportunity with Kalani. The two polys going up against each other. Just big men clashing together is. Man, that's something to really, really be excited for because this is not no joke. Me and Manu, we're heavy hitters, so people can say we're not, whatever. But I mean, I got confidence in myself that I have a T-shirt says "One slap, matter of fact." Come on, matter of fact, show me the matter of fact.
Hitman, I'm glad that you said that actually. So we had I'll call it an anonymous tip that came in. I haven't personally seen this, so I want to ask you right here, right now. But somebody had stated that you were speaking about McKinney in a manner that they didn't expect. That it wasn't nice things that you were saying. Is that
yeah,
true? And if so, why? What's going on with that?
yeah, it's a little too, but it's not like I'm not saying nice thing like offensive things. I'm just telling the truth basically because when you talk a lot and for me he got to me with one of the comments he said on Instagram and my brother was defending me and stuff like that, but ever since that time he started commenting and saying certain things and put a bad taste in my mouth where I it's like love and hate right now. I kind of I like the guy but I just don't like the guy.
Can you tell us what that comment was?
Now he just was downplaying me as soon as I had won the belt and stuff like that. So yeah, he was commenting certain things, and I'm like, man, if you was in my position, I'll be happy for you, you know.
Oh, I remember
But
this. I remember this.
yeah,
He was
yeah, yeah,
talking
I'll be happy
about
for you.
he was talking about, you and Dumpling having been a close match, and I think he was upset at that time about not getting the shot.
Yeah,
And I
because
believe
he
he
haven't came
mentioned
back yet. Yeah, he
I
wasn't.
think he mentioned Dwayne Crespo, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right, right, right.
Um, okay, all right. So I'm tracking now. So I remember the history,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that that was still. All right, so you hold grudges then.
No, it's just for me. It's like, man, I would be happy for you, but coming from you, like on your comments, you got to go and go type it in. So it's like, for me, I don't really comment on those things. It's for me. I rather show up and do my thing. No matter the outcome. But I would rather show you. Talk about it because that's how I was born and raised. We'll show you before we talk about it, type of deal. And just to have him come across like that when I'm just want win, I just won and I'm at the highest, and then he wanted to come at me like at that timing. So it was like, for me, it was like, okay, watch when we get a match, type of deal.
Do you feel like in some way he's underestimating you? I don't know if you saw his
Yeah, yeah.
pre-fight, but he talked about the mutual opponent and he made a lot of, his performance versus the Dumpling compared to your performance against the Dumpling. Do you
Right.
feel like in some way he's kind of looking past you?
It's just a little bit, but hey, I'm here for a reason. You'll find out that night. I'm not taking him lightly, so he shouldn't take me lightly. And I'm actually looking for a war, but in all honesty, I got that one slap, put him down. Really, it just takes one.
So you believe your prediction would be that this does not go the distance. The judges can take this fight off.
I mean, my predictions, I want it to be one crack and done, but you know what? We're two big men, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that if he eats my slot and don't move, like Dumpling, he moved forward a lot, and that's where I didn't adjust for those things when you're on the fly, So, um, but McKinney doesn't really move, so but he moves down a little. But that would show if he, because I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna eat that slap. I'm gonna take it right on my chin. I give people my chin. I'm not scared. I'll let you hit me right on my chin, and and see if you put me down. And the look I'm gonna give you right after. Oh man, your whole face is, all your confidence is gone. So that's where I would rather be. I would rather be intimidating on the stage than in the comments or talking and stuff like that. So.
What do you think of the spot, man? I mean, you're a main event of a massive, what I would consider to be a massive card. Arguably the most talent-rich card that we've had so
Right.
far.
Yes.
For you to sit at the top of that, how meaningful is that to you?
Man, it means a lot because you know what? I was thinking once I heard that we was sharing, basically the title, so two title belts up there. I didn't know what to think, but in my mind I was like, man, I guarantee sure I'm pretty much the main event. I'm sure about that. And then when I think McKinney at the place or at the interview, he's like, oh, we're the main card. I'm like, I'm really not, I'm not surprised. But hey, you know what? I'm making sure I'm gonna bring the show. I'm making sure that my family can be in the crowd. I got so much people riding. We're gonna have a whole section, so you're gonna hear a lot of chihus throughout the whole night. Big Hawaiian presence. Hawaiians different, than Maoris, Samoans, and all these different Polynesians. We're all different. We all have our own language actually. So, you know what? We all set apart, but we're all beasts in our own, like um, you know, in our own to come with big men, and that's like the top of the chain basically, to come in and Polynesians and take over like how you were saying earlier, got a big presence already. You know what? It's a force where you definitely have more majority wins out of the Polynesians and stuff like that. So um and I'm excited for where this will go. I'm thinking that all the heavy hitters, man, we might have like even the prelims, man. It's like some people's new, everybody's coming in, confident, high on their last match or whatever, and you never know how it will go. So I'm just excited that I have an opportunity to show what the Lord has done for me, what God placed me here for. So it's not by my strength, it's by man, it's by me coming together with the Lord, and that's where my power is at. I heard a lot what Manu was saying, where his strength comes from his ancestors, but my strength comes from the Lord, and I'll prove it. I'll prove it that night because I trusted the Lord to, make no mistakes, and man, to be in that venue too. I used to work right across that area. The last time I came on the podcast with you guys,
Hmm.
that's where I work, but we work on by the Planet Hollywood and the other side by the Crystal Shops. But I used to park at the Cosmo, and man, I used to walk in there all the time and get the stares like, man, who is this guy? But I just park in there. I just go home, straight home, and
Now
But I'm
time
excited to have that place.
now
You know,
times have changed. It's
yeah.
not who is that guy. Now it's who is that guy with his face
Who is that
on the
guy? That
poster.
face is plastered all over the place. Yeah, right, right.
Exactly. Um, I want to kind of, you know, in a lot of ways, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, but you were in the shadow of your brother. You were 2 feet from stardom the
Mhm.
entire time. You seen what he had to go
Right.
through, all of the expectations, the pressure, the family, riding into the venue with the entire motorcycle club, having your entire family, 30 plus people, put them up in an Airbnb, feed them, house them, make sure they're happy, entertained, all of that. You were there the entire time, living and
That's
breathing through all of that. Do you feel that experience, waiting your time kind of in the wing, and now you're set off to fly, is going to put you in a totally different space because you've already been there, done that, seen how it's been done, and how the former champ handled himself?
um yes. Honestly, being on like the tailcoat of my brother and riding and seeing everything go down. I seen the good at it. I seen the bad at it. And for me, I definitely want to make an impression where I'm more like I would set myself apart for the fans, just for the people, for the kids, for people that's supporting. I would rather do that than to be really in the limelight. I share the belt every time I take a picture with the belt. I ask people, "Here you go. This is not only for me, it's better for you guys too. All the fans, all the people that come through." And I definitely want to set myself apart or put myself up in the higher category as basically I was saying in one of the interviews where I was saying to become a legend, you have to take out a legend, and that's where I want to place myself at. Where I'm the one that taking out legends or like taking out spectacles, taking out big giant mans. Like that's one of my dreams, even with arm wrestling. I
Yeah.
wanted to do that with arm wrestling because I seen Levon and Devin Larrett, big man trying to arm wrestle and stuff, and I'm telling myself, man, I want to take those guys out you know.
Big
And it's
sights.
now it's now transferring over to Power Slap. So
For sure.
yeah,
Big sights, big aspirations. Obviously, you took care of Dumpling, which put you into this position that you're here today. Obviously, everybody knows the legend and the aura of Dumpling and what he's done,
yes,
in the past.
yeah,
Um,
they kick it off. They kicked it off.
absolutely. They say you have to do. What do they say? You do it. You do it once. How does the saying go? You got to make it twice to be real, or whatever it is. This
Oh
is your
yeah,
chance.
yeah, yeah. For like basically not a fluke of it. Right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So this is your opportunity, the first time that you're going to defend your belt against Makini Manu. You know, you're in Las Vegas now. Like, does it feel different this time around? Do you feel like the expectations are higher? Do you feel like there's more weighing on your shoulders as you go into this match?
Yes, yes. There's a lot riding on it. Especially just in my daily, walk, especially with the belt, being able to, you know, actually, I basically sleep with the belt, so I remind myself who I am, and basically, everywhere I go, everywhere I step, I want to I want to put on the hat, where it's more than just me. It's more than where I want to go. It's where it's actually where I stand with the Lord and how far He will take me. And I'm in my mind, man. He's taking me all the way to, I'm gonna be like those boxers, all the belts, just like the whole roll of belts. Just
Yeah. Or
that's
Damien The Bell. I mean, he's not too far off.
no, man. That's half of what I want.
Awesome, awesome. McKinney Manu never watches Smack Talk, so whatever you say, don't worry, it won't get back to him. But could we see that left come back?
Man, I'm working on both. But you know what? It just depends on if I'm a fire with the right or the left first. But I think if he takes this right, I'm working on the right more. But I would rather um surprise him. I'd rather surprise him, catch him off guard,
He
and
doesn't
then
watch.
just
What's so
yeah.
surprised? Just tell us, buddy. He doesn't watch it.
Yeah, he gotta find out, man. But I want to make a show out of it. But I definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely going to choose a number. I don't know what number, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Well, 4.
Can,
That's it.
can you just do it just for it? Just be like, Slap News asked me to go on 4.
4.
But what do you think? Like, what would Mark Smith's face be if you actually said 4?
Right up 4. And then he'll be like, okay, oh wait. No, yeah, I don't think he'll be ready.
I think he'd repeat it. Actually, I think
He'll
he'd
be
be
like,
like,
right,
you'd be like right on 4. He'd be like right on 4.
right on 4. Oh. No, be like right on 5. The whole hand.
I'm curious. Does the coin toss matter to you at all? That being that you
Um,
got, obviously you as the champion get it automatically.
I think so because you know what? I lost every coin toss. Every coin toss I lost is the only time I won a coin toss by being a champion. So, you know what? They getting hit first. Oh no, Dennis. No, Dennis got hit. Actually, I got to hit Dennis first. I think. Oh no. No, I lost every coin toss. Yeah, that's right. I lost every coin toss. So, but
Well,
the coin tosses, man, I'm excited. To
so
hit
Frank
them
must have
right.
made this rule just for you. Then it had to be.
Man, yeah, because you know what? I probably lost, and they're like, "Oh snap!" Like, be like Ron. He lost every one. Yeah.
Now, champ, I do gotta ask you. Your beard is looking a little long.
Yeah. So I cut it down
Are
for the
you gonna
interview,
wait?
and it grew out. Yeah, I'll wait till like maybe the week, a couple days before.
Okay, because Dumpling posted his. He looks great. He's
Man, they
got
put it
no
down already.
virtually no
Man, I
hair.
seen. I'm gonna see if I can, just leave a little right there. That's fine. But yeah, I did cut it down for the interview the other week. But yeah, it grew out a little.
You have to have somewhere to put the snacks, don't you?
Right. Man, hey, earlier I found a little, Nutella. Just
Well, awesome, man. Always good to catch up with you,
no,
champ. Thank
you
you for the
too.
time. I know you're a busy man. We look forward to seeing you next week during fight week, and obviously showing up for the Hawaiian people against the big bad Samoans. Only one
Yes.
Polynesian culture can win here, and for you, it's got to be the Hawaiian.
Man, you know what? I ride or die. I'm Hawaiian Filipino, but I mean we're ride or die. We're a different breed. We're not the same. We stand apart from all the polys. So the Hawaiians is definitely um what you call like definitely shoot, I don't know. It was top of my head, but I just kind of. But the Hawaiians are definitely hammers. Hammers. So you gotta come hard. You gotta come hard for us to take us out. So
Awesome, man. Looking forward to it. Congrats on the main event.
I'll,
I would say cut weight safely, but we know that you don't have to cut it anyway.
I need a little
What?
more chat.
All right. Before you go, can you give us a little hint? What are you expecting to come weigh in at?
Right now, I would say I'm like same 375, basically
Okay.
370, 77. Yeah.
So you're
Right about
prepared for
that.
McKinney to be larger than you.
Oh yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
I
Good
already I
stuff.
already seen how big it was, and when I seen him in that room, I was like, man, we just take up too much real estate.
Yeah. You guys on stage, man. They got to bring the third catchers back.
Yeah, exactly. I know
So,
I'm
all right,
definitely
cool.
excited. Thank you guys.
Take care,
Great to
Aloha.
brother.
hear from you, brother. Take
Sure.
care. There he
Thank you.
is, the
Yes,
Hawaiian
too.
Hitman. Man, what are we doing? A special, 2.5 hour smack talk tonight, or what do you
Yeah.
think?
All right, we got one more ding, and then I'll let you go.
All
All
right,
right,
all
number
right, all
two,
right. What do we got?
Jessalyn
Jessa
Michelle
Michelle, Joanna Wick.
Newick. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a rebooking from Power Slap 18. Um, I believe, right? Yeah, Power Slap 18. It gets rebooked a month later. Uh, the biggest thing from this that I think is different is just it's at 170. That's a division that we haven't really seen a whole lot from on the women's side. So I mean, and on the men's side too, but that's another conversation for another day. Lauren Wise has been there, Morgan Freer has been there, kind of waiting. So it'll be fun to see some talent in those divisions. And both of these ladies, obviously, Taylor Mitten has already competed against Justin Michelle. She won. So Justin's trying to get right. And then Joanna Wick has been chomping at the bit for a long time, trying to get up there. Some of you may not know her as Joanna Wick, but she is Joanna Wick now. So you'll recognize her though. Some of you will probably be like, "Oh, it's her." Her name is actually I ain't even gonna say. I don't want to. I don't. She seems to not want to put the two together. So I'll let you guys figure that mystery out. But nevertheless, any thoughts from you? I mean, obviously you've seen Jess and Michelle compete live. I have not.
Yeah. Um, you know what? I've seen her live. I don't know how much I could really draw from it. She's got a big personality, loves the stage, loves the spotlight. Um, Joanna Wick is really a wild card in this whole thing. She has a previous combat experience. I guess if you call it that, I think it was like 6 girls fighting one guy or something in Washington State. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, this one is really anybody's, and is anyone's match for the taking. Like you said, we don't get too many matches at 170 on the women's side of things, and some girls that are going to bring some power to the division. And big personalities going to be entertaining all around. Be the last match before we get into the actual live event. And so I believe the Brass of Power Slap believe that this could be a very good match as well. So, Ding, without further ado, coming up on 2 hours, I know you've got important things to do. You're down there in Miami. You're getting everything rocking and rolling before you got to get back and out to Vegas there next week. So I'll let you run, get on with your day. You got to get up early, and we'll see you again, same place, same time next week. Smack Talk doesn't disappoint when your boys are on the scene. Take care, be safe, and we'll talk to you next week, 2 days before Power Slap number 19.